Welcome back to the Kieran Carlin Football Channel, where it's me, Kieran Carlin, talking about football on a channel. And the FC, does that stand for Football Club or Football Channel? Who knows? It could be whatever you want. Personally, for me, it actually stands for fucking crazy. Today, I'm going to be ranking Premier League managers in who I think is the best. And now, this will take into consideration a multitude of things. They might not have been here long. It might be like a projected, you know what? I reckon in about 5 years, we'll all be like, yeah, well, they're better than them, okay? So they could have had a short tenure. They could have had a long one. They could have done stuff in previous leagues. It depends on a multitude of things, and that's the joy. And that's why you're watching this during your lunch hour, aren't you? What are you eating? That squirrel? Wow. I hope it's a grey squirrel, because they're bastards. If it's a red one, then naughty. Currently, I've put everyone in the current league positions to give me a starting spot. Now let's get the beginning over and done with. Guardiola up in first. Pop Arteta down there. Where's Mr. Klopp? Oh, he's in seventh. Oh, okay. Mr. Klopp in second. That feels about right. Third? Who we're thinking for third? Third best manager. Thomas Tuchel? Maybe. Antonio Conte? Maybe. You know, I'm going to leave Conte in there. With Tuchel, it's going to be quite controversial. I don't rate him. What has he done? And before you say, oh, well, Kieran, actually, he beat you in the Champions League final. Oh, brilliant. He had good form for what, 3 months. That's cool. But apart from that, he's scraped himself into the Champions League on 2 occasions, I believe, is it? Yeah, 74 to finish third, and then 67 to finish fourth. Is that impressive? Has he won any cups? Oh, well, Kieran, actually, he beat you in the Champions League final. Oh, well, he has 1 cup, doesn't he? So, personally, for me, if you win the Champions League, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a great manager. Di Matteo won the Champions League. It can contribute to meaning you're a good manager, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are a good manager. So, jot that down. In the league, I haven't seen any reasonable improvement for how Chelsea play. They spent a fortune. Their squad is much better than the results and current performances would suggest. I'm just not having it. How well did he do with PSG? So I'm just not convinced. So I'm actually going to put him. I'm going to put him fourth for now. But would I rather him over as Conte? Conte has won leagues that aren't Ligue 1. So, I'm going to put him third. I'm going to put Tuchel fourth. Fifth, Ten Hag. Ooh. Okay. Now, as much grief as I like to give Manchester United, because they are scum. Let's just establish that right here, right now. They are scum. He's gonna be a good manager, isn't he? He is a good manager. What can I say? I've got a lot of bias, but he quite clearly is a good manager. He did very well with an Ajax team, which are always going to do well, but he did very well in the Champions League, and I don't think that came from the same place the Tuchel one did. I don't think that was just a good run of form. I think the way they played and the whole system, they did capitulate in the last minute against Tottenham of all teams, but I think he has more of an identity, and his feels more positive long term and in the joyful way of playing football, rather than Thomas Tuchel, who, quite frankly, when they were winning games, was just a painful 1-0, and then that's it. I hate that. I hate it. I put him fifth. Sixth. We've got Arteta sitting over there. Do we want to bring him in? Because they are playing very well at the moment. If there was a job vacancy that came up at Manchester City, and it was between Tuchel or Arteta, I think I'd enjoy Arteta more. I'm going to move Tuchel down. Arteta jumps in fourth. Then I'm going to have Ten Hag. Do I switch those around? No. I'm going to have Ten Hag fifth. Tuchel, he's dropped down to sixth. Then we've got Graham Potter, the best of the rest. What a guy. Give him a big team with loads of money. And you know what he'll do? He'll get rid of the striker who can score goals. He'll get Danny Welbeck in, because you cannot have a striker at Brighton that scores more than 4 or 5 goals. It does not exist, okay? That's not the way they play. That's not how they want to play. They don't want someone who's good at kicking the ball in the net. They want it to come from midfield, or everyone chips in with about 4 each. And I love it. It's impressive. Oh no, we just sold one of our, most important players for like 30 to 50 million. Oh, that's a shame. Let's get some random Ecuadorian bloke in. Let's get a guy from Colombia. Let's get anyone from anywhere with a random generic name. Get him in for 5 million. Bosh. World beater. Fits the system. Game on. Graham Potter. Get him to Newcastle. Right, let's jump to the end of the spectrum. And Rodgers is sitting in there at 20th at the moment. And the Leicester team are struggling. It just feels like an accumulation of situations. And he's not a bad manager by any means. I just feel like time has come to the end. The squad needs a whole refresh, but they can't do it because of money. And it's like this whole thing. And quite simply, he's trying to get sacked. He keeps coming out saying stuff, being like, we keep losing, but ultimately, it is my fault. Please, owner. It's my fault. This is all my doing, okay? It's not the current economic situation with you. It's all my fault. Please. I'm not going to resign because I'll miss out on loads of money. Please sack me. But he's not the worst. So I'm going to put in the unknown quantity of the faceless Gary O'Neill. The Bournemouth caretaker and manager. He's put in a good shift. They were 2-0 down against Forest. Away from home. They've come back and they've won 3-2. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. But that's the only thing I can judge him on. So he's going to have to be bottom. Who else is really, really shit? Marco Silva. I actually quite like Marco Silva. Hassan Hutel. Very topsy-turvy. Very topsy-turvy. But, he's better than Gerrard, though, isn't he? Is he? I think he is. I'm going to go Gerrard 19th. Get Cooper out of there. He's all right. Gerrard 19th. I'm going to get Hassan Hutel 18th. Oh, Bruno Lage. I forgot about him. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's shift everyone up a bit. Goodness me. I'm so sorry, boys. Get Bruno Lage in there. I'm sorry, Bruno Lage. I don't know the style of football you play. Have you just inherited a Wolves team that was determined to win 1-0? Because you're doing the same thing. To be honest, you're dead boring. You look like a nice guy. Friendly face. You look like a nice fellow. But quite frankly, fuck off. I'm going to put Steve Cooper in 14th. I just feel like I've heard a lot of good things about him. And that's all I can possibly do. He did wonders with a Nottingham Forest team last year to get promoted. I believe they were like in the relegation players or hovering above it. And he managed to get them promoted to the Premier League in just an unbelievable mishmash of a team, which is what he's got now. Now, they've got a big turnover of players, as we mentioned 400 times before. But I think he might still be able to do a job. So we'll see. But I think he's destined for greatness. I think that is what's important about this random list I've come up with. I'm going to go David Moyes above him. I think David Moyes is underrated. He did very well with Everton's side over a very long time. He was doomed at United because that's just what's going to happen if you follow Fergie. It could have been Guardiola following Fergie. He could have got sacked after the first season. He struggled the first season with City. Would they have the patience after Fergie? Who knows? But he's in 13th. He's decent, but he's not, thrilling. I'm going to put Vieira above him in 12th. I think Vieira's got a high ceiling. I like him. I think he's still got a lot to learn, but he struggled a bit at Nice. And then I think he came back and I think he learned from that. Speaking of learning from it, Eddie Howe did a great job at Bournemouth, but ultimately it ended up feeling like quite a naive way to play football. And he went back and he bought a new drawing board. He's playing a completely different way at Newcastle. And admittedly, are they winning? No, but they're much more competitive than before. It's a lot of draws. They need to get the wins over the line, but is it their fault they didn't win against Crystal Palace? Because that goal quite simply should not have been ruled out. But I think he's a good manager, a positive manager, and I like someone who's just willing to rip stuff up and start again. 11th for Eddie Howe. Now we're in this weird trifecta of confusion. Thomas Frank, Jesse Marsh, Brendan Rodgers. This is difficult, lemon. Difficult. Now, I like Jesse Marsh, okay? I feel like his football is probably it's sort of built upon that RB sort of style. It didn't go amazing for him at Leipzig, but it seems to be quite a good fit at Leeds. I find it quite endearing for some reason why that he's American, and you just feel like the team talks are just like, let's go, believe. But a lot of it is good man management. Oh, but can you beat Brendan Rodgers in that respect? I'd rather have Jesse Marsch now, but I feel like it's only fair to Brendan Rodgers, who had done a great team with Leicester, had finished way above these two for a longer period of time, and won an FA Cup. Even though he bottled top 4 for like 3 seasons in a row, I think he did a lot for the longevity of the Leicester side. So he's going to have to go 8th for me, and I'll be very interested in seeing where he goes next. I reckon he could do with a bit of a break and try and come up with, maybe adapt the way he plays or freshen up the way that he plays. I just think it's inevitable in football where a manager and a team fall out the way they combine together, and the life cycles come to an end. I'll put Thomas Frank above Jesse Marsch. I'd rather have Jesse Marsch, but I think Thomas Frank has quite an interesting way of playing football. I think it's more economical than you would usually assume, because you think, oh, we'll pluck a little Brentford, but I don't think they're all passing. I think if I remember reading the article correctly, they're happy to boot the ball upfield. They're all good with that, and I rate that. So he knows what he is. He likes to do it. I like the model that Brentford employed. They're just a bit different. I was bored of them, but I think it's come back around now, and I quite enjoy them. So let's go through the list. We've got Pep, Klopp, Conte, Arteta, Ten Hag, Tuchel, Potter, Rodgers, Frank, Marsch, Howe, Vieira, Moyes, Cooper, Marco Silva, Lampard, Hasenhüttl, Gerrard, Lage, O'Neill. I think this is pretty spot on, in my opinion. I don't really think there's anyone to change. I think, you know what? I've had to think about Tuchel. I think I'm being harsh on him, but I feel like there needs to be so much more from him, and I'm just yet to see it. Okay, and now I know these two are babies in comparison into high-level pedigree, but I'd rather have them as my manager at the moment. But I wouldn't rather have Conte. That style of football really makes me want to shoot myself in the skull. But he does get results. I feel like at the moment Tuchel's getting results, but only because of like poor officiating. What's going on? Mendy's injured, is he? That is the worst decision I've ever seen. And it was from my favourite referee, and I can't believe I have a favourite referee, but Jared Gillett was on the VAR. He was the Australian bloke, that viral clip when it's like he's talking on his last game in Australia, being like, oh yeah, go to the championship, and players are like, oh, well done, you're the best referee. And he was a good referee. But saying that, he fucked it, he royally fucked it. This is my final rating currently in the 2022-23 season. It's early days, but this is my rating for the best managers in the Premier League. I've been your boy, Kieran Khan. I hope you've had a nice lunch. I hope that squirrel tasted wonderful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!